Welcome to Spiritually Imperfect, the show where the metaphysical meets the practical. This is your space to explore the mysteries of the universe, embrace spiritual growth, and connect with the energies all around us. No one spiritual journey is perfect, but that's the beauty of it. Hosts Mike and Jen bring their unique blend of perspective, humor, and heartfelt nature to every episode. Whether encouraging, facilitating readings, or diving into exploring mediumship, energy healing, or searching for clarity, Spiritually Imperfect is a place to where discussions of the collective experiences that we all share comes to the surface. Now, here are your hosts of Spiritually Imperfect, Michael Christopher and Jennifer Lee.
Hello, Michael.
Hello, Jennifer.
We are back.
Happy Friday, everybody, and welcome to Spiritually Imperfect.
Hello, Lydia.
Hi, Lydia. How you doing?
Let's see. Hello, CJ. And Bernadette. Take me a minute to scroll here.
We'll get started here in a few once we get some people in. And
hello, Miss Margie.
Hello, Margie.
So we made it another week.
Barely. Today's my Wednesday.
Right? How do you think next week's going to unfold? We were just talking today about the strange energy that's building.
And I'm afraid of next week just because of what's happened already this week.
Right. Yep.
We'll just say the energy's been super ducky.
Hi, Nancy.
Hi, Nancy. Hi, Dana.
Hello, Dana.
Tony. So, yeah, we're just going to give it one more minute, and then we're going to jump right in. Hope everybody's surviving the energy in the air.
It's a little wild. There's Brianne. Or is that Brian or Brianne?
Where?
Brian. I apologize. It looks like Brian.
Brian.
Okay. It was really weird, wasn't it? Yeah, it was. Margie had a reading with me last night, and we had some really cool things happen in the energy.
That's cool.
Yeah, we had some really cool things happen.
All right, so let's just jump right in. So I had posted a question in the group page, and if you're not a member of the group page and you'd like to be, go over on Facebook and join our Spiritually Imperfect Facebook group. But I had asked the question, what's the main obstacle holding you back from working with your intuitive abilities? And I got several answers for people in the group, but one theme kind of stood out, and it was it's about quieting your mind, not being able to quiet your mind. So I'm sure we have several opinions on this topic, and they're probably both different, but I'm sure they're the same too. I think we share the same mindset on this. So if I go too long, just hold up your hand and say, Michael, shut up.
Ring the bell.
Yeah, ring the bell. I got a couple, 2 minutes, 2-minute time limit here. All right, quieting your mind. So first of all, my opinion, and through research, you are never going to completely quiet your mind. The only two times that happens is when you pass or you reach total enlightenment. So either I'm sorry or congratulations. But if you're like the rest of our, us muggles, you're never going to completely quiet your mind. Your brain's job is to be active. So when you go to quiet your mind, whether it's meditation, whatever, you got to have an intention, and I think that's important to have an intention of what you're doing in that moment. Are you going into a meditation with the purpose of just learning to quiet your mind? If you are, I would strongly suggest just starting out with short intervals, maybe 5 minutes. And while you're in that space, focus on like your breath. I tend to focus on the air going in and out of my nose. And then what happens is you're going to get a thought in your mind. the technique is to not hold that thought. You acknowledge it, but then you let it go. Right? And just an example, you may be starting your meditation. All of a sudden this question pops in, did I feed the dog? Well, then your mind's going to start looking for an answer. Yes, no, whatever. So when you get that thought, just let it come in, let it go. Focus on your breath and just continue to do that. Don't become frustrated if you get thoughts in your mind. You're going to. So that's one take on it. Jennifer, do you have anything?
No, I just want to expound on that for a minute, because when I had a hard time with the whole let go part, but how do I let go of the thought? Like, it's in my mind now. How do I just let it go? So I started doing some visualization to let things go. First of all, it was like a balloon. I would visualize a balloon and I would attach the thought to it and let it go. But because of my anxiety, I couldn't actually let it go, because I knew maybe it was something I needed to deal with later. And let it, like, that's just the way my mind works. So in visualization, again, I literally built like a shelf in the back of my brain. And now I will say, go back to the shelf. I'll deal with you later. And that's been very, very helpful for me, just like in everyday life, when something pops in or I can't get something out of my mind. Like, I know I need to deal with this at some point, and I know I need to like spend some time with it, but not right now. So I set it back on this back shelf. It's getting pretty full.
Yeah.
I have to empty it one of these days. But just exercises like that kind of help to know, like, what do you do with it?
Right.
That's how I had to learn to let it go, because I could hear it, but I could never understand the process. So, and that may not work for everyone, but that's just something that began to work for me.
Right. And again, intention on what you're doing. Like, we're talking about quieting your mind through meditation. That's one thing. We're not talking about connecting. When it comes to connecting, you have to realize your mind is not in a passive meditative mode. It's the complete opposite. Now, I'm just going to talk about something real quick. You may agree with it. You may not. I believe meditating before a session, for some people, can have an adverse effect, because you're slowing your mind down. When you're connecting, your mind is actually in hyperactivity mode. You want it to be in that hyperactive mode. That's where the spirit vibration is. At least that's how it is for me. But then again, training my mind to be quiet, I know when I make that shift to the spirit world, the only thing I'm receiving is that coming from spirit.
Right.
So again, it's important to learn those techniques and be clear on what you're trying to accomplish. And that's to avoid becoming discouraged. Because I've seen so many people, talk about how they meditate to connect. And I'm not saying that's wrong. I'm just saying, through my experience, it's kind of the opposite of what you're trying to accomplish.
It is for me as well. It really is. So I used to, because that's how I learned, through watching, right? Through watching and all of the things. That was my understanding. That's how I learned that I needed to sit and meditate before every reading. Like, I needed to be in that meditative state. And so I did that for a long time, and it was the same. I felt that the energy was down, and I actually felt that it was sluggish and harder for me to connect. And so I switched that up one day, quite by accident. It was, I didn't have enough time. I was running late to my session, and I didn't have the 30 minutes to sit and do the whole thing. And so I listened to a song, and it was Eye of the Tiger. I just had it cranked up, went into my session, and I had one of the most beautiful, best sessions I ever had. I felt good. The energy felt good. And that's when I was like, no, that's what I'm doing. That's what I'm doing. And so the 4 sessions, I got the music on loud, and I have the high vibration music, the music that makes me feel good.
Like when I used to crank up Judas Priest or your Alexa, but you removed that, so I no longer have control of your Alexa. Alexa, play Judas Priest, Painkiller.
To listen to specific songs anytime you like, just say try Amazon Music Unlimited.
Oh, it's playing in my room now.
Similar songs on Amazon Music.
Here it comes.
That's what we do.
Alexa off. Sometimes she doesn't listen to me in here.
Yes. Now I know Alexa's there.
Yes. She likes to give me fits during readings too. It's kind of funny.
So yeah. So is there any follow-up questions does anybody, have any questions based on what we just talked about? If not that, no topic is off the table. We do our best to try to answer them as best we can. I've said it before. I don't know everything. I know that comes as a shock, but I don't. We will get to some readings here in a little bit. And again, before we jump into readings, we don't do requests. We just do spirit-led if it's mediumship. If it's psychic, intuitive, at least for me, I kind of just go with who I'm pulled to in the chat, and we do it that way. Again, don't ever feel that you're being skipped over. This is just the way it operates during, a format like this. Oh, great. It's playing at my house. My device heard you. So how many people right now are listening to Judas Priest Painkiller?
It's funny. Okay, I'm going to look for some questions. Jennifer, do you have a specific question? Hello, Betty.
Bernadette, yes. Actually, I remember this one woman contacted me and said she was afraid of meditation. And I'm like, why? Mm-hmm. Somewhere along the line, someone had told her that by going into a meditative mood, spirit can take over her body. And I was like, who told you that nonsense? No, that is not the truth.
So you can quiet your mind too without what we think of as traditional meditation. I do it through drawing, like just intuitive drawing, just letting the lines, the lines flow. You can do it through walking. Michael does it on his motorcycle. It's just, I did it this morning, first thing in the morning, mowing the lawn. That's one of the things that I love to do. And that just gets me into that, right? There's flow, there's repetition, just doing the same thing. And I can just kind of clear my mind and just do that. So there are other ways than just sitting in that meditative state. That meditative state is, it's great for us, like that sitting. It is beneficial, but if you're somebody that can't do that, there's so many other ways to meditate. Active meditation, that's what I like. It's my favorite. Although I will sit.
I can't sit.
Occasionally.
If I do, it's 5 minutes, maybe 10.
But that's all you need.
Yeah.
Really, that's all you need. Like 10 is about the maximum that I do. Other than that, it's, like I said, it's drawing. It's active meditation for me.
Bernadette, those type questions, I have no idea. We get those questions a lot. That was your experience, and you're going to have to explore that and get answers from your guides. I don't know, because I'm going to get my interpretation of what's going on, and it's not going to be the same. Like I said, I've had people ask, who was in my house last night? I'm like, I'm not there. I do not know. And I'm not being sarcastic. I'm just saying that's the absolute truth from me.
Right.
Lydia is asking, when my son first passed, he was always little and would always talk to me. And now he's older in my dreams, but he won't even look at me or say a word. I scream his name and he just looks down. Nothing from spirit is ever a bad sign. No. When, again, this is theory, right? I can't say anything's fact until we're there, but I've never had one spirit say I'm in a bad place on the other side, ever. Ever, ever, ever. I've never read about that. The way it's been explained to me is like, take the best day you've ever had on this earth, multiply it by 1,000,000, and that feeling does not equal what it's like over there. So I don't know if you have anything, Jennifer, on that. Is that...
No.
fair?
So dreams, the only thing that I want to say, Lydia, is I have to agree with Michael. I don't feel that it's a bad sign. Dreams are dependent on so many, many things that are going on within our own self. So there are spirit dreams, and then there are spirit visit dreams, excuse me. And then there are dreams that come from, sometimes we're in a stress state. Maybe we're not sleeping properly. Maybe we've got like a mental health, something going on, or things are just off balance. Our dreams can change a little bit. And so you might want to look at some of those things. Maybe that's some of what is happening. But I want to assure you that it's not a bad sign. And I do feel like maybe there's something. For some reason, I don't feel like you haven't been sleeping very well, and I kind of think this is a vicious cycle with those dreams. So I would look at the other underlying reasons why your dreams could have changed, because again, our circumstances dictate a lot. What's going on around us and in our body in that moment dictates a lot about how we dream.
Yeah. And I've read for Lydia, I think 3 times now, Lydia. I think it was 1 in a gallery and then 2 private sessions. Her son's, a character, to say the least, when he comes through. Bright. Oh my God. When he comes through, it's like, that was one of the first things I recall about him, that he was a, very intelligent young man. Kind-hearted. He was just, I'm just trying to remember. I'm not saying I'm connecting with him right now. I'm just having memories of the readings. But yeah, definitely pay attention to your dreams, Lydia, and just, because see, now I'm having a feeling about it, because we're talking about him. So obviously I'm going to start feeling, and he wants me to talk about this. So I'm just going to throw this out to you, Lydia. When you mentioned that he just sits and looks down at you, what feeling do you get from that? Because I'm just going to share what I'm feeling from that look. And I think I feel it's him trying to get you to look at yourself in the mirror and like take care of yourself and get help. And again, I know I've read for you before, but I think he's brought this through in a previous reading. He's just wanting you to take care of yourself. So does that make sense?
She says yes.
I don't know if okay. So again, that's just a feeling he's giving me. He wants you to look at yourself and be honest with yourself. Have you worked through the grief process? And he's making me feel like, no, there's still more work that you need to do. There's still more communication that needs to take place in the family. Because he's making me feel like people are still afraid to talk about him. That's what he's making me feel, Lydia. So, yeah, he was a firecracker, for sure. So, Lydia, that's what I feel he wants you to know. It's like you still have work to do. Again, it's about communication with you, the rest of your family, because he's just making me feel like you still need to. It's like he's making me feel like everybody's divided, and there's still work that needs to be done to bring everybody back together. So I hope that helps, Lydia. But again, don't ever think that he's in a bad place. He's not.
No.
He's just looking out for you and the rest of your family.
Super cool, Michael. Okay, so I wanted to say hi really quick to Elizabeth. I see Misty. Christina is on there. Hello.
Hi, Misty. Hi, Christina.
Oh, thank you, Crystal.
Hey, Crystal. How you doing? I saw your name go by. I was probably in the middle of a thought. I wanted to say hi, but now I have.
Scroll up here for a minute.
And Bernadette, that's an interesting question or statement. My brother who passed as a baby visited me. He was a young man. They age maybe. So we don't age as we do in human, but we can present as possibly the age we'd be now if we were still in the living. So saying that he passed at a young age, did he appear to you at the age he would be now in the living? Spirit will often come through in a couple, very different ways. There's no absolute. They may come through and show me the condition they were at passing. And then once that's acknowledged, they may say, okay, this is how I am now. And usually the now is picture them at the peak of their life. The average age they're saying, just as an example I've read over and over, is 30s. Oh, thank you, Lydia, for the feedback. Yes. At least that's my understanding.
Oh, I saw a comment. Somebody mentioned about meditating on a motorcycle. They would be afraid they would fall off.
Well, so I meant to add to that.
I wanted to clarify that. Yes, I wanted to clarify that. It's not going into full-on meditation.
No,
what it is being mindful. What it is kind of just zoning in and just enjoying the ride. Like that's that you're just there in that moment. It's not trying to block it's not trying to do that while riding a motorcycle.
Like, no, I don't close my eyes and chant.
No, it's not that. It's just about being in that moment fully. That's what it's about. That is a form of meditation.
Yeah, it's like ironing. When I was in the military, I would iron my own uniforms. And to me, that was Zen because I was concentrating on ironing my uniform and everything else around me was just gone. It was just, I was in that moment. And that's what meditation is. It's not worrying about the past. It's not worrying about the future. It's in the moment.
That's how I feel about mowing the lawn, back and forth. There's just something very, very soothing about it. Margie does it while she's running. Yes, CJ, painting, knitting, etc. It is meditation. Anything artistic that you're just in that moment, it's coming from your intuition. That's very meditative.
Mm-hmm. All right. I have cards as well.
I've got some cards.
I have those. Remember those cards that we both, or you told me I needed?
These, the same ones I've got in my hand?
Are you kidding me?
Nope. The very same ones.
How does that happen?
Oh yeah, shower meditations, bath meditations, all those are great.
Anything that puts you in the moment is meditation, in my opinion. It doesn't have to be chanting,
Oh, can we go to Bernadette's question about being an untrained medium? Where did that go?
We're all untrained mediums.
That's what I wanted to touch on. I wanted to say that, I think it said, I don't remember. I think it said she was told she was an untrained. There we are. I'm told I'm an untrained medium. I don't know what that is. That is every single one. That's everybody. Everybody has the ability to be a medium. Every single person does. And it doesn't take formal training to learn how to use those abilities. It really doesn't. It's really about just what we were talking about. Still the mind for a minute, learn to understand your own energy, learn to know what that feels like, and then open your mind and be aware to the spirit world.
Mm-hmm.
And those thoughts that come in, you have to trust them. The hardest part, that's the hardest part, is just learning to trust. Get the link and learn to trust. Training yourself comes by doing. One way I used to practice, because I'm not saying just run out and practice on people until you understand, but one thing I used to do, I would watch shows like this, and I would watch mediums I liked, and I'd take a pen and paper, and I would try and link in with them, and I would be writing, and then they would say something, and it would go with what I was writing. I would try to link in there, and just see. How close how accurate was I catching on. So that's how I started learning. There are a lot of ways that you can train yourself. And that's just one of them.
Yeah. Again, I mean, if you really want to develop, you could join a class. There's many of them out there. You're on Facebook. There's many teachers out there. I'm going to teach again. I just don't know when this year. I'm going to put together a class. But the other way is to just grab a friend, somebody you trust, go into it and just see what happens. All it really is, I mean, really mediumship in a nutshell is sitting down and acknowledging what you're feeling. Now, of course, have an intention. When you sit down and practice, are you trying to connect psychically, or are you trying to connect to those on the other side? Make that intention. And once you do, it's like, okay, you're sitting with that person. What do you feel? What comes into your mind? Just start talking about what you're experiencing. And remember, it's a muscle. It's going to grow the more you use it.
Yes.
Don't be discouraged if you don't make that connection right away the first time, or you only get one message. Just start talking about what you're experiencing, you know, a feeling, an emotion. Are you seeing images in your mind? Talk about it. Your sitter's probably going to go, I know what that is. Remember, you're not meant to understand the message. It's for the sitter.
Right. And once you understand that, so that was another thing for me, is I was like, but I don't know what that means. I don't want to say it. I don't know what it means. I don't understand it. And I get a lot of people messaging me saying just that. I'm getting this, but I don't know what it means. It doesn't matter. It really doesn't. If that's what you're getting, that's what you're getting. And when you pass it forward, they will understand.
Crystal's funny. I usually message Michael when I'm not trusting myself and my guides. He gives me the confidence to trust the process. Yes.
Yes, you have to. He's very good at that, isn't he?
And believe me, I ignore some of the messages I get, and somebody else has to give it to me, third party also. So we're not immune to that. It happens. All right. And I don't do psychic readings, Jennifer GR. All right, I'm going out on a limb, and I know I'm going to get feedback on this, but this is my reality, my perception. I should have that sign, prove me wrong right now, because about what I'm about to say. I believe the future is not predictable. Prove me wrong. And what I mean by that is, give me statistics. Out of 10 predictions from a psychic, how many actually came to fruition? And I'm not saying that to be challenging. My thought and opinion on it is there's too many variables going forward. When we're connecting right now in the energy, I see the potentials.
Right.
I see a path that you could potentially look at, give you a different perspective, but I cannot predict the future. Have I done it? Yes, but it was not intentional. And we're not supposed to have the answers. We're supposed to figure out things on our own. It's hard to hear, and life is hard sometimes, but when you make the effort to find your own answers, the feeling you get, I mean, I wouldn't trade it for the world. So there, I said it.
Michael. So I do feel that we can tap into the energy of the past. We can tap into the energy of the present. It will give us a very, very good indication of the outcome of the future. It will. It's not 100% guaranteed, of course, but that's something we can do for ourselves too. We can reach back and look at past patterns, look at where we're at now, and then we can determine what the future is going to be. Simply at that point, if we want it to, continue what has been going on, if that's good, great. If it's not so good, then you got to change something up here. Or yes, you can predict the future that way, 100%. And sometimes you can predict what the future is going to be by the energy in the now.
Mm-hmm. It is, Jess, and that throws people. And I've talked about this before. When you're just starting out, communication with spirit, at least for me, was very vivid. And as I began to trust and work with them, it seemed like the messages and the communication became very subtle.
It is very subtle.
And I think it's just because they don't have to expend so much energy, because now I'm listening. They know my patterns. They know what buttons to push to get me to say something. So yeah, that sometimes throws people. But I highly encourage everybody who's interested in developing their abilities, take a class. Don't go into it with the thought that I'm going to take this class and I'm going to graduate in 6 weeks and I'm a medium. I'm going to hang my shingle out to dry and I'm going to have my own business. No, it's a starting point, but it gives you a foundation to build upon. And it helps you to initially establish that trust with spirit and realize that you are communicating with the living through intuitive abilities and through communication with spirit. And once you make that one communication and you get a validation from a sitter, it's like, it will change your life, because
Oh,
it's no longer
absolutely.
just in your mind. It's like, oh my God, this actually happened.
And it continues to do that for me. I
Mhm.
mean, it continues to blow my mind. I was just telling you today, I've had a couple of things happen this week that like spirit just blows my mind. Absolutely incredible. Yeah, it will continue to do that. It will just be much more subtle.
Yep. I did a past life regression myself, Bernadette, probably right shortly after my kidney transplant, I think. And it was through Dr. Michael Newton and the Past Life Institute. That blew my mind. That was so trippy.
And did it resonate for you?
I don't know if it resonated. Well, in a couple ways, because in my past life, I died during a tornado, which explains that I'm very uncomfortable during storms. Like, Sheila can sleep straight through it. As soon as I hear a crack of thunder, I'm up, and I cannot relax until it's like done. So that may explain it. But I still remember interesting aspects of it, parts of it where I was sitting with my guides, and that was crazy. That was crazy. And I remember the name too, because the way the therapist worked is he's like, I want you to say he goes, he would do this tapping on my forehead, and he would start and he goes, what's the first letter of your name in spirit? And I'd be like, P, A, R, Z.
Wow.
I was like, so my name is Pars, apparently. I was like, okay.
Okay.
Works for me.
That's cool. So I've never had one of those. I've had thoughts about it, like in dreams about it, but I've never actually had a reading. So I'm curious. One of these days I might have to try that.
Apparently Jess thinks I'm the Wicked Witch of the West.
So Crystal, she says the feeling from a validation is a feeling that I can't explain. It's a beautiful light that I can't put into words. Absolutely. And it stays that it continues. It continues through the entire journey.
Yeah. The feeling I get from making a connection with somebody, for a sitter connecting to their person and spirit, I mean, there's nothing like it. There is absolutely nothing like it that I've experienced here. It is, and the amount of gratitude that spirit chose me to do this.
Yeah, I understand. Yes, I do get that. Absolutely.
So again, we try to get to as many questions as we can. If we don't get to yours, please don't take offense to that.
So let's talk about how we do mediumship really quick, because I've seen a couple people asking for readings.
Yeah.
But on the show, like the way we do it on a live like this, it's all spirit led. So we're not picking and choosing. And I kind of feel like we're probably going to be doing more, I don't know, general guidance or something tonight. But if something comes in, we'll definitely go there. And we like to, what is it, Michael? You want him to claim 100% of evidence, right? I would at least like him to claim.
Oh, no. Because nobody will claim it then, because I'm not that good. No. I don't even know how you put a percentage on it, but I would say 80% or better. So if I give you 4 statements, 3 of them absolutely have to connect, and it's no bending on them. I may come across as stubborn, which I am, but when it comes to spirit messages, I stick with what I'm getting from them. Yeah. And I'm sorry, when I get in that, I should probably explain this. When I get in that mode of spirit, I get very short. I don't want to say short-tempered, but again, my process is I'm listening to them, right? And I'm delivering the message to you. And all I really want is a yes or no. Do you understand this? Because again, my job is to connect with them and give you the messages. Oh, thank you, Lydia.
Oh, I love that, Lydia.
Again, so if you don't take me as being very short-tempered, if you will, or cold. I just get in that zone and it's all business. That's just the way I am. Otherwise, I'm a joyful, love and light person.
Hey, we just learned about that. You got to stick. I mean, we have to stick with it. Like, even if it's one piece, and I know that is what it is. Like, we can't bend on it. We did that in class with the leg, remember? And I was
Yeah.
like, no. Some things I can wiggle a little bit on, and but for the most part, no. Interesting. So Gemma says her daughter can smell different illnesses. Is this spirit led? I have heard of people that can do that, actually. What do you think, Michael? It's definitely a very
It's an ability.
ability, yes.
So you got to remember, we're spirit before we're human. So
Correct.
Nothing is off the table and nothing is impossible. Anything we put on ourselves is our self-limiting belief. And that's why I say it's important to develop your own abilities in your own way. Because if you follow the same cookie cutter routine, you're never going to branch out and figure out, like Gemma's daughter, that she has that ability. If she just went to a typical class and they were just teaching mediumship, all right, she may never break into that other aspect of herself if she sticks with that, So it's like things change as time goes on. I mean, I was introduced to healing, I was like, okay, I'll delve into that then, I guess. So, oh, thank you, Misty. Oh, I'm good. I'm glad to hear that people don't think I'm an a-hole.
Whatever, Michael.
What's the one question I saw? Someone is asking about a blue light around them and what it means.
Yeah, I think the comment earlier, if I saw it, was that mediums have mentioned that she has a blue light around her. Now, I don't know if they're talking about an aura or
Christina.
What they're.
So if it is an aura, that changes. That fluctuates its energy, right? So one moment it may be blue, the next moment it might be red. I think it's all in the moment. We all have an aura. Some people can see them. I can see them in my mind. I've never really taken the time to really learn what the colors mean. I probably should. But I think that's another fallacy, misunderstanding, is that people see this as a color around. Like if I'm looking at Jennifer, my physical eyes, I don't see aura. But in my mind, I see an aura. So it's kind of like it transposes over the person, if that makes sense. And then you can determine or decipher, translate what that means to you. And I think I did this with Kelly in our circle on Tuesday or last week. I saw the color of yellow around Kelly. And to me, it meant, calming, that type of feeling. And then she explained further what it meant. And it meant to her is like the energy of a teacher. So again, there's books on that, how to determine what the colors mean.
So I can tell you a little bit about the color blue. It is like the color of healers. Like usually when you get the blue energy, that's a healer color. That's also corresponds with the throat chakra, like you were just talking about, like teaching. It's about speaking your truth.
Yep.
Blue is a calming color, and so I feel like you have that energy, like that energy in your soul, that you just kind of calm people just by being who you are. There's not a whole lot that you have to do just to make that happen. Also very much natural born healer, taking care of people. That's what I see in the blue. I've had family members when they pass
That's amazing. That's, I mean, that
I
experience.
see what she's saying. It took me a
Yeah.
minute. Okay. No,
It's
but
not strange.
there's that caretaker, there's that healer, there's that beautiful blue energy right there.
Yep. To me, blue means leadership too. That's one of the aspects that I feel comes with the color blue.
Blue.
Bernadette's asking, this is a good question. Do our spirit team soul closes the third eye for protection? Because mine was always open. Okay. Again, I'm going against the grain, which I do this quite often. So please don't be offended. Anybody who hears this, again, it's just my opinion. If I were to ask you right now in your mind to picture a rose in your mind. I'm going to guess that most people in here can. There are some people I learned that cannot picture things in their mind. If you saw that rose in your mind, your third eye is open. There's nothing that needs to be decalcified. No, it's there. It's open. It's always available to you at will. Don't ever have that mindset that something is closed off to you. Again, that's a mindset that we're taught. And I've seen people get so frustrated over that I used to get the visuals. Now I don't. There's other options to that. And I've experienced it. When spirit is trying to get us to develop other clairs, they may withhold or lessen the visual to give you more of a feeling.
Right. Because if you take away one of the senses, then you have to use the other one. Mm-hmm. Or if you minimize it.
So again, these are just my opinions. Take them for what they are. You know what they say, and I'm not going to repeat it here on this family-oriented show right. About opinions.
Okay, so a couple things. I know we have Mother's Day is coming up, right? Isn't that Sunday? So I just wanted to say Happy Mother's Day to all the mothers, but also I want to talk about a mother who is in my awareness. She's younger. She passed away at a younger age. I feel late 30s, maybe early 40s, but I'm really kind of stuck in that 30s range. She passed quite suddenly and unexpectedly. And I also feel that this passing has been like within the last 5 years. So I'm curious, I want to know if anybody can connect with that.
Yes, Bernadette, there's much to learn. We don't know everything. It's a never-ending process and journey. I would just say, take everything you hear and read with a grain of salt and just literally ask yourself, does this make any sense? Like, here's one, trapped spirits. That's my favorite. No, they're not trapped.
Trapped spirits.
That's another one I know gets me in trouble because apparently that goes against the grain. But then I apply my logic to that. If I'm crossed, I'm not trapped. If I want to hang out in a bar, I'm going to hang out in that bar.
Yeah, that's the thing. You know what? Nobody knows. We're all going off of our own experiences, our own thoughts. But I think what happens when we're first learning is we start, okay, recently lost my niece. She was a mom to 4 and was 48. Mm-hmm. I really feel that this is a little, I don't know, Julie, I don't feel like that quite fits. I got to go a little bit younger. Okay, Shannon, there we go. My mother passed. Where'd Shannon go? Hang on. My mother passed when she was 39 very suddenly, but that was in 2005. I may take that just because of the 5, because the 5 was coming to me, which is why and I may have interpreted that 5 years wrong, but I'm going to give a little bit more evidence and see if the rest of it can fit. So I do have a mother who was very young when she passed, 38, 39. I do feel that this was sudden. The number 5 is coming to me. I did interpret that as within 5 years. There's something, hang on just a second here. I see bare feet. I'm not sure what that is about. She's showing me bare feet in the grass. Can you pop Shannon's comment up there and leave that up there? Thank you. So she is showing me an image of bare feet in the grass. She is letting me know that her personality was one of she was very carefree, enjoyed the outdoors. She's actually showing me rocks as if she was a collector of rocks, except that this is a big rock. I want to see, Shannon, if you can understand any of that. I don't know if this is even a painted rock. Something with a big rock on her. So I want to wait and see if Shannon can understand those things.
And if we could just hold off on comments, please, and just let Shannon comment. That way it just moves along quicker, so we don't have to shuffle through the comments.
We'll wait. The rock is important. That's why I want to wait. That's one of those things I'm not going to move on at all. So again, she's showing a hand-painted wooden thing. Okay. Okay. I feel like it's a painted rock. I don't feel like it's a painted wooden hanging thing. But I do feel like that this rock is important, that this rock. Okay, I'm going to wait. I'm going to wait for just a second, Shannon. I think there was someone else. I want to see if they will understand. Do you understand the rock in any way, shape, or form, Shannon? Is it something that you have? It doesn't necessarily have to be from her. You have something, Michael? I hear
I
you.
just feel like her mom was very impulsive. The image and feeling I get, like she would just show up and grab you and go, we go do something.
That's
There
a
was no
carefree.
planning. It was just like, let's go do something. I don't know if she had the J name like Joan or Joanne, but I keep hearing that name, Joan and Joanne. And I'm also getting something with like blood. So I'm getting like quick passing either from a heart attack or stroke is what I'm feeling. I just feel like sudden, unexpected. I don't know if she gave nicknames to people because I'm getting like nicknames. Like she would call people other than their names. I know that's a lot. I'll stop talking now.
I'm waiting for the comments.
And I know I feel for the people on the other side who have to type these things
I
out.
know. We're going to have to figure out how to get people like on the phone with us on the show. Oh, that's okay.
Died from an overdose. Okay.
Okay, that's okay, Shannon. Yeah, I don't want to force it on you at all. I don't want you to. Okay, she was extremely lenient. That's not the and I apologize, Shannon. That's just not the energy that I'm feeling at the moment. Which is interesting. Brian, when I pictured the rose, I saw a rock. Michael was saying that he was feeling a J for the name.
Yeah, like Jay, Joanne, Joan. Nope, I wasn't getting Carol.
Shannon, I don't want to leave you hanging though. Give me just a minute, please.
And the August birthday. I'm getting August around. Your mother wants me to talk about August, and I see birthday around August. Interesting enough, she keeps showing me the number 2 because my birthday is August 2nd, but I'd fall over if your mom's was August 2nd. But I see August, and I need to acknowledge the August birthday. She's also showing me a pet bird. I could be way off, but I'm just talking about what I'm feeling and what I'm seeing. My mother died in August, the day before my brother's birthday. Okay. Would you understand the bird reference around your mom? A pet bird? Again, we're just going to work with Shannon right now, or are you working with Bridget? I can't remember, Jen. I'm sorry.
No,
Okay.
I didn't ever see Bridget's comment.
Okay. I don't know, this bird, she keeps showing me the bird. I don't know if she'd be giving me like the middle finger bird, but I feel this is a pet bird.
I'm just scrolling here.
Shannon, I'm going to go to message, and I hope this is your mom. I know it's difficult to get quick comments, but when you said that she was leading it to a fault, she's explaining to me that the feeling she gives me is her parents were very strict, and she did not want to be that way with you. So it was a matter of trying to find a balance. Okay. Would you understand that though, with your grandparents or her parents being very strict? Because I feel like she revolted from that. And it's almost like I get this flower child kind of sensation or feeling around her, like very free-spirited person.
No pet bird.
But she saw a crow the other day. It felt incredibly connected, which is odd for me. I'll get back to that bird because the bird, she kept showing it to me. I don't want to just cop out and say that's a sign from your mom. But I won't. Yes, her parents are strict. Okay. I don't know. I just get this feeling. Okay, I'm just going to go with it, Shannon. Because she's taking me to like your formal education. And there was something about that she didn't agree with. I feel it's like she wanted you to learn more from life experience than the classroom. That may be vague, but she's just giving me this feeling of going against the grain is what she's making me feel. Would you understand that as part of her personality?
I was going to answer CJ's question really quick. Yes, sometimes there can be crossed energy for sure, especially on something like this. Try not to have that happen, but it can.
Absolutely, CJ, there can be, because he's saying my grandmother Jean had a pet bird and I paint rocks. If it's resonating with you, take it. It could be your grandmother. I'm just not aware of it. But piggybacking is very common. I'll leave it to you now, Jen. I've talked enough, I think.
Oh, you're okay. We're about done on time. Anyways, I just wanted to throw some to Shannon. I didn't want to leave her hanging. So I feel it's also important for you to understand that she says she can see things from a different perspective now, a perspective she was unable to see while here, right? There's kind of this tunnel vision. She's able to see things from a completely different perspective. Now she had a lot of growing up to do. She's kind of growing up. You were kind of growing up with her. She was still growing up herself. And again, she just says it's important for you to understand that there was always unconditional love. She still had a lot of growing and healing and all of the things to do herself. Do you have, okay, so hang on just a second. I'm seeing the image of a child. I don't know if this is your child, but she is showing me the image of a child connected, connected to you. And I can just feel that love there. It feels to me like that this is you and a child, that she is acknowledging that. Do you understand that, Shannon?
I haven't seen a comment from her in a while.
Oh, well, maybe she's gone. You have a 3-year-old boy. There it is. She's showing me that, the connection that you have with your son. Yeah, she says that's a very, very, very beautiful connection. So she is acknowledging that, and again, acknowledging she could have done things different, but you're kind of breaking the chain there, right? You're setting that the new example for future generations. So she is acknowledging that. I'm going to leave that with you with much love. Sorry, that was a little rough getting started. I still don't know where the rock goes, but I know it goes somewhere.
I got one more thing and then I'll let it go. Shannon, did your mom do something with arts and crafts where she would melt either beads or jewelry? Because I get this, like I was seeing this like heat gun or something where she would melt things to stick together. So I don't know if that fits with her. But I just asked.
Oh, sorry. I also want to leave you with a scene of it's an outdoor scene with mountains behind it. I feel like you'll understand what that means. So I'm just going to leave that with you as well.
All right.
And thank you, Shannon. Thank you for being open. Thank you for being here. Michael, we didn't even get to pull our cards. Should we do a collective something?
You pull one, then I'll pull one.
Okay. Are we using the same deck?
Yep.
Okay, cool. I'll pull the first one. Did hair with tiny rubber bands.
Okay.
Okay, there it is.
Pay attention to your dreams too, because I'm feeling she visits you in your dream. Because that's what she shows me is like, don't discount those. Don't pass them off.
Okay, so, well, I have the 5 of Pentacles upside down, which is actually, it's talking about, it's upside down. So it's talking about unemployment, frustration, different things, but it's actually talking about them turning around. It's talking about faith restored, the end of poverty. And we can look at poverty as a lot of things, not just financially, but spiritually, physically, emotionally, all of those things can be that. And so this card is just saying, these things are going to come to an end. It's time for these things to come to an end, that they can. So it's faith restored and turning things around. So we'll see what card Michael has to follow it.
The 8 of Wands.
Okay.
So let me feel into this. So this is about taking action, right? It's like stop procrastinating, whatever project you're working on right now or whatever goal. It's time to stop procrastinating and just put it into action. Stop, letting your ego tell you you can't do this or you shouldn't do this, or allow people's thoughts to dictate what direction you take your life. So I feel it's just a really simple message of it's time now to put the plan into action.
End the poverty. Put the plan into action.
That's right.
Right.
Yes. Hello, Tina. You caught us at the end, Tina.
Hi, Tina.
So,
all right. Till next week, huh?
Till next week.
All right, cool. Oh, I just did want to remind them about the Facebook group again. Somebody asked about a link or the spelling. It really is just the Spiritually Imperfect Facebook group. That's what it's called. I don't have a link right now to drop in, but oh, good, Christina. But if you guys want to come on over there and join us, we would love it.
Yes.
I'd love to see you over there. We might be doing some lives in there, independent of the show.
Maybe do a random drawing for free readings. You never know what's going to happen.
You never know. All right. We will see you guys next Friday. Thanks for being with us.
Good night, everybody. Thank you for following us. We appreciate your support. Have a great evening and a weekend. Have a nice weekend.
Yes. And happy Mother's Day.
Yes. Now we freeze like we did on the TV shows in the 70s.